Vanda is a captivating genus within the orchid family, celebrated for its vibrant, long-lasting flowers and unique growth habit. This orchid is primarily epiphytic, naturally inhabiting trees and rocky outcrops rather than growing in soil. Vanda species feature a monopodial growth habit, where the plant grows continuously from a single stem. One of their most distinctive traits is their thick aerial roots, which are adapted to absorb moisture and nutrients directly from the humid air. The blooms of Vanda orchids are striking, often large, and come in an array of colors including blue, white, red, and yellow. They typically feature a short spur on the lip and are not only showy, but can be fragrant. Under the right conditions, many species bloom multiple times a year, with individual flowers lasting several weeks. Among the many species within the genus, Vanda coerulea, popularly known as the blue Vanda, stands out as the favorite among orchid enthusiasts and cultivators. Renowned for its rare, magnificent blue flowers, this species has captured the imagination of horticulturists for its beauty and relatively adaptable cultivation conditions compared to some of its counterparts. Vandas are light-loving plants that thrive in bright light conditions. They perform best when given intense, indirect sunlight. While they can tolerate some direct morning sun, exposing them to harsh afternoon rays may lead to leaf burn. In indoor environments, situate your Vanda near an east or west-facing window where the light is abundant yet diffused, or use filters like sheer curtains to soften stronger light. Reflecting their tropical origins, Vanda orchids flourish in warm climates. The ideal daytime temperature ranges between 24–32 degrees Celsius. At night, a slight drop to around 16–21 degrees Celsius helps mimic the natural temperature fluctuations of their native environment. Consistency in temperature is key. Sudden or extreme fluctuations can stress the orchid, potentially hindering its blooming cycle. As epiphytes, Vanda orchids have aerial roots that are designed to absorb water directly from the air. This characteristic means they require regular and ample irrigation. During the warmer months, watering daily or at least every other day is common practice, ensuring the roots remain moist but never waterlogged. In cooler periods, you might reduce the frequency slightly. It's essential to water with room temperature water and allow the plant to dry out briefly between waterings to ward off root rot. Unlike many traditional orchids that are potted in a soilless mix, Vandas are best grown mounted or in open baskets to replicate their natural epiphytic lifestyle. They do not require conventional potting media. Instead, mount your Vanda on a wooden plaque, corkboard, or use a wire basket, cushioning the base with materials like orchid bark, sphagnum moss, or even a custom orchid mix. This setup allows for optimal airflow, which is critical for their aerial roots and helps prevent moisture-related issues. High humidity is essential. 60–80% humidity is ideal for Vanda orchids. If growing indoors, using a humidifier or placing the plant near a tray of water can help maintain moisture levels. Feeding Vanda orchids requires a balanced approach to ensure healthy growth and vibrant blooms. Here's how you can optimize their nutrition. Use a balanced fertilizer, a 20-20-20 or the 30th of October. 10 NPK fertilizer works well. Higher nitrogen such as the 30th of October 10 is ideal for vegetative growth, while a balanced formula supports overall health. Since Vandas are epiphytic and have exposed roots, they benefit from weekly feeding with a diluted solution at approximately half the recommended strength. Soak the roots in water for about 10 minutes before applying fertilizer to improve absorption. A light misting of fertilizer on the leaves can provide additional nutrients, especially in dry conditions. During the flowering stage, switch to a high phosphorus formula like October 30th 20 NPK to promote blooming. Rinse the roots thoroughly with plain water once a month to remove salt buildup and prevent root damage. For many hobbyists, propagation is the most accessible method, offering a relatively low-risk way to clone orchids. If you're leaning toward a scientific approach or commercial-scale production, exploring in vitro seed germination or tissue culture methods can be deeply rewarding, albeit with a steeper learning curve. To find keikis, look for small offshoots or plantlets emerging from nodes on the flower spike or stem. These keikis should have a few leaves and begin to form roots. When the roots reach 2 to 3 inches in length, carefully separate the keikis and plant them in a well-draining medium such as orchid bark or sphagnum moss. Place them in an environment with 50 to 70% humidity and bright indirect light. Water the medium sufficiently to keep it slightly moist but never soggy. Propagation through seeds is common but requires knowledge, resources and access to laboratory facilities. Vanda orchids produce very fine seeds that lack the nutrient storage tissue typically found in seeds. To successfully germinate them, you'll need sterile, lab-like conditions and a specialized, nutrient-rich medium. Another method of propagating Vanda orchids is tissue culture. While this is a popular commercial technique, it requires expertise, laboratory equipment, and a high initial cost. Vanda orchids can be affected by several diseases, including fungal, bacterial, and viral infections. Here are some common issues. Fungal infections thrive in high humidity and poor air circulation. Symptoms include dark, water-soaked leaf spots, crown rot, and mold growth. To treat, improve air circulation, apply fungicides, and prune out infected areas. Bacterial infections are often caused by wounds or contaminated growing media. Symptoms include water-soaked lesions, leaf discoloration, and a foul odor. Treatment involves removing infected parts and using a copper-based fungicide. Root rot is caused by overwatering and poor drainage, which leads to crushed and discolored roots. To treat, prune away any damaged roots.